Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 93 of the Lorethrough. And I had one more thought I didn't complete last time. Sorry, the episode was running long and I forgot. So, combination of bad things happening. We'll get all the lore eventually. Dialos is gone. Shucks. He had a little snippet of dialogue that I missed. I'll probably patch it in here. Later. I'll read it off. It wasn't a whole lot. It's something he says while you're walking past him, unfortunately. So that's on me, right? Let me see if I can find it. Find his dialogue. Academy Gate Town, Volcano Manor. Okay. Okay, so he says the phrase, "It's just as my noble brother says. I'm a complete fool. I can't believe I thought I could become a champion." So, that's what he says to himself, and then he disappears from Volcano Manor. And there is a place we can go discover him at. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do it. Let's go see if he's there. We're heading to Jarburg. So we're back at Jarburg, of all places, and Dialos did mention his hands being poor. So let's speak with Jar Baron.
Oh, hello again, cuz. I'm happy you came back. I have good tidings for you, cuz. Have you noticed the rare flowers growing in this village? I asked the villagers if you could pick some of them, and they said you'd be very welcome. Go on, cuz. You really should pick some of our flowers. Who knows? They might be of some use.
So he says we should pick the flowers because he's trying to be kind to us. He likes us. There's an item over here. What did I not loot? A cracked pot. That's funny. But yeah, we can loot all the flowers of this area. There's jars about who are passive. Okay. And there's nothing over here just yet. So we will rezone really fast and talk with Jar Baron one more time. So I think that will advance the quest line. I hope so.
Say, cuz, have you met Uncle Alexander?
We have.
He used to live here with us, but then he left to be a champion. I asked to go with him, but he said, "The path of champions must be trod alone." So heroic, right? I miss him, though. If you see him, you should ask him to teach you how to fight, cuz. He's big and tough and strong.
Little does Jar Baron know, Alexander sees us as the bigger warrior, while he sees himself as a crock of shame. But he's trying to better himself all the same.
Uncle Alexander said he won't be back again.
My home is of the past, and the past, as they say, is a different country.
I suppose that's part of being a warrior, isn't it? So, please don't tell anyone, cuz. But I'm actually a warrior jar as well. One day, I'll be just like Uncle Alexander. Then I'll have to leave the village to become a champion.
Now I have the sinking feeling that jars don't grow like people do. That Jar Baron will always be this size. And that Uncle Alexander was built to be larger. Which probably makes him a better warrior in a sense.
Uncle Alexander won't come back here again.
My home is of the past.
I suppose that's...
And there's Alexander again, dropping phrases. Who knows where he learned them. Okay. And nothing there yet. So Jarburg's an interesting quest line because it intersects with Dialos' quest line. And once you've gotten Dialos to the point where he's left Volcano Manor, I believe this is the point where you can start getting everything moving forward.
Hello again. Do you know what a poacher is, cuz? They hunt us, smash us, and then take us away. This village is kept secret, so I think we're safe here. But you should be careful if you ever meet one of them, cuz I hope Uncle Alexander beats them all up first.
Sure enough, Uncle Alexander, we found him trapped in a pit up here. So it seemed that he was revisiting this place. The second pit we find him in, and we have to oil him up to get him out. And so it seems he was visiting from afar. He was oddly reminiscent of this place when passing by. He couldn't help but take a look, but he was trapped in a pit that he couldn't get out of on his own, both in Limgrave and here in Liurnia. Were those pits constructed by poachers? Are those pit traps designed for pots? Can they not get themselves out without our help? Did the second trap work more effectively? We need to oil him first. Have we saved Alexander from being poached twice?
Those awful poachers. I hope Uncle Alexander beats them all up.
Well, the poachers might be smart enough to not attack Uncle Alexander one-on-one. Okay. So many different rezones. You're supposed to visit this place periodically throughout the game to get extra bits of dialogue, but we're doing it all in one go.
Oh, hello again, cuz. Have you heard? A new potentate's come to the village. I think he said his name was Dialos. He seems a little down in the dumps, but his hands, as smooth as silk. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed, actually. Even though good Sir Dialos has a wonderful suit of armor, he says he isn't a warrior. And since he's a coward, he won't be fighting anymore. His smooth and silky hands feel nice when he pats us. But I wish we had a potentate big and strong like you.
So he wishes that he had a potentate as big and strong as us. And if I look up the description of a potentate, it says a ruler who is unconstrained by law. It's another word for a dictator, but it seems that the dictator or the ruler of the Jar people is one who serves them. Kind of reminiscent of some verses from the New Testament where Jesus speaks about how, let him who's chief among you, let him be your servant. It's something to that effect. I probably got the verbiage wrong. It's not verbatim, I'm sure.
Dialos's smooth and silky hands feel nice when he pats us. But I wish we had a...
Okay, so he wishes he had a potentate big and strong like us. So let's visit Dialos. After we've begun the path of a recusant. And
Well,
sure enough...
Aren't you full of beans? No wonder you're covered in muck.
This is a jar of beans. But he seems to be tending to him. In some capacity.
Oh, my friend, it's been far too long. I have to say you caught me at a rather low point. But as you see, I've put all that behind me. Left the volcano manor, forging my own path now, making my own choices. Even a fool like me can look after some simple jars. Do you pity me? Well, don't. I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm on the straight and narrow. A fool I may be, but I can look after some simple jars. Do you pity me?
Okay, that's all he has to say. And that's all we'll do for his quest line for now. I don't think we can advance any further, and if we can, we don't want to yet. I think thematically it'll be better if we do so later. We have some with Alexander's quest line to worry about at a later point. And also the recusant quest line. One of our assassination contracts is a Juno Hoslow, shown by this marker here, who seems to be the brother that Dialos was talking about in his ramblings. So, Jarburg. Fearful of poachers, but they have a potentate. Things are looking up, and Dialos seems to be on the straight and narrow. Things seem very happy. And true to Soul's fashion, if we never come here again, we can pretend they have a happily ever after. But things are rarely the case in the Lands Between or in Souls games when you complete people's quest lines. Alright, well, we wasted 10 minutes there. Not wasted, invested, but it's not Volcano Manor. It just seems a little tangential. So let's get to Volcano Manor and see how much of it we can get through. Okay. So we can go in here. We can use our big ol' wheel that we have. And we have a monster in the hallway. And I'm going to use the Giza wheel because, well, a guy wearing our head wrap also had it, so why not? Budding Horn. Interesting choice for a noble to be holding on to. Sign of the Crucible. And there's some of these things hanging onto the ceiling. And yet, there's more. There we go. There's a wall here that we can't do anything about. When the game first came out, it had 999 health. I can't remember if that's like proper health points or like how many times you had to hit it to break it. They've since patched it. You can't break this wall anymore. But here at the end of the hallway, we find the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 21, which gets us alluring pots. What do alluring pots do again? Throw to lure foes of humanoid build only. Is that really all it says? Let's see. The illusion will lure in and distract foes of human builds outside of combat, while demi-humans will be lured in even during combat. Okay. Can't imagine many situations that'd be too useful. I wonder if it works on the bosses. I don't know if there's any more demi-human queen bosses. Oh, that's so sad. I might need to test that on a different character. But here we find the depraved perfumer Carman. So let's take a look at that there. You go to the proper inventory. Alright. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell. Used to summon Spirit of Carmen, the depraved perfumer. Depraved perfumers who practice their art for themselves alone. Carmen was a notably formidable perfumer whose strength rivaled that of heroes, and it is said that he was in search of a secret physic of revivification. Spooky. We'll have to upgrade him and use him in our next fight. 124. Our max FP is 126, so we have just enough for him. One of the more expensive summons, really. I wonder if he's good. Supposedly he can rival heroes, so. And coming down here, we have this path. And it opens up into another room, and we see a bloodhound. Knight. I think if I move slowly... Oh no, my light source. Ooh, that worked really well. But we get his claws, and he was interacting with the body that had a fireproof dried liver. Kind of interesting. Did that guy eat things to make his own liver dried or fireproof, or was he holding it? As for the Bloodhound Fang item, large curved claws used by Bloodhound Knights. The curve allows the weapon to slip through an enemy's guard. So it says it's one of the strength-based claws. When you upgrade it more, it seems to lean that way at least. So now we have the means to use the Bloodhound Fang, the Bloodhound Claws, and the Bloodhound set. We could cosplay a Bloodhound Knight fully now. Why would you want to? I don't know. Curved greatsword, main hand, claw, offhand doesn't seem like the best combination. It could be okay. I know if you put a knife in your offhand, you can often hit people with the curved greatsword and then combo in a hit afterwards. So that is most certainly an option. Okay, so looking around the place, we have this little chapel building. Prison Town Church is what the grace is called. And it has a little altar. Some more of these Dark Souls 3 wooden structures. I don't know what you call them. They almost look like a dresser, but they don't really have any drawers on them. I guess little altars is what you could call them. Wood altars with tiers on them. Tiered altars. We can push this open. And now we are in Central Volcano Manor proper. And hey, that's the lower area where we fought the bats and eventually got to the abductor virgins. So we are now up above. And here's the bridge. There's an item that we can't get just yet. Here's the bridge we can't cross, but if we look across the way, you can see a crank that needs pulling. There's this church-looking building across from us. And there's a Blackfire monk. Well, we know Blackfire monks are associated with the Godskins, so we should keep our eyes open. Which, the Godskins are their own form of heresy, so is there some sort of collaborative effort? Or is he just here? Oh, and here we have a serpent. It looks like Zarias, but the eyes are not green. It is not wearing a mantle, and it has this ruddy-looking curved sword. This is the follow-up hit that gets the charged attack, or the attack that hits repeatedly. But it looks like we have a little slew of crisscrossing buildings over here. Okay, I angered a dog intentionally. Oh, are you kidding me? Alright, properly dealt with. I don't need the bull goat talisman. I just kind of were for the PvP implications. There we go. And they were eating somebody who had a feral calling finger remedy. Maybe he was looking for some help. But we can jump down to the buildings here. There's an item up there that we do want. There's another serpent this way. I think we can work our way behind him. So these serpents can be backstabbed. And they have their own shields we can get as well. So we shall look at the shield, since we can't get it off of these particular enemies. Small copper dome-shaped round shield carried by the man-serpents of Mount Gelmir, and sure enough it looks like it has a cobra head facing forward on the very front of it. Said to have been tempered in lava, it boasts great resistance to fire, and sure enough it has 48% fire resistance. It's not the best. Twinbird Kite Shield slightly better. Golden Great Shield's a little better than that. I guess there's not that many shields with fire resistance, at least of my repertoire. Alright. We can jump across over here to deal with this guy. He's a pot thrower. But the serpent will work its way around and come down here. Oh, are you kidding me? And the things here have a good amount of health. So we're starting to get things a little closer to our bracket. Aw, couldn't free aim with the chimney in the way. Chimney stronger than tarnished. More news at 11. These boys throw evil pots at us. Ooh. Like that. Oh, that feels nice. That the sorceries actually can do a little bit. Not a whole lot. And to be fair, I'm not using the ones that hit in big nuke-like attacks. Oh, there's a beetle over there, though. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. Oh, no. Haha, I got to it in time. Somber 5. Okay. Not the end. It is not the end. So those fellows up above are now making fools of us. Haha, but not for long. We have another abductor virgin, because of course we do. If we can stab its opening. That's not too bad of a fight. Thank you, lightning damage. It's nice to have some lightning damage. Okay. I think we needed to go up there. Did I already grab the item? I think we saw a body on the backside of this. We did. Alright. Smithing stone, 6. And I need to run along that again. So I think we can jump across here. And work our way back up to where I fell off to get to the beetle before it disappeared on us. So we're doing pretty well so far. Lots of burning here. It seems that there really was an Inquisition of some sort tied with Praetor Rykard. Did he start the Inquisition after he became blasphemous? Or was the Inquisition to hunt something else before he switched teams? I probably shouldn't have dropped off again. Oh, withered straight sword. How worthless. I think there is a awning over here somewhere that I want to jump onto for an item. Oh, I think it's up above. I think we can reach it better from the up above's part. If I can run through this area once, that would be nice. But in terms of lore implication, this place has had a very rough start. So there's an omen killer down there, a pyre of burning bodies. The burning bodies are wearing the outfit of the commoner, as you can see, especially that one right there. He's got the cassette tape of faith on his chest, indicating he was a practitioner of Erdtree worship. So it seems that whoever is here, these heretics and blasphemers, are calling anyone who believes in the Erdtree faith. There is an awning with an item, I swear. I remember one. Is it that one? I'm simply... Yeah, it is that one. Okay. It's not that one. Okay. So, simplest way is you want to be on this roof here, below me, so you can hop onto this awning here. And it makes that experience far better. We can now switch back to the Giza wheel. And I actually kind of want to throw on the Axe Talisman and see how well I can do. Because a charge attack sounds fun. Woohoo! I was actually able to trade him because I got so late in the attack pattern. And we get a second Great Omen Killer Cleaver. I don't know why the noise of that pot going off threw off my speaking pattern. Okay, who threw that? Who's the wise guy who did that? Is there another guy up above somewhere? There's this fellow over here. It's so weird. Who threw a pot at me? Huh, maybe I already killed him and I'm just going brain dead. Alright, so let's look at the Omen Killer Cleaver again. We now have 2 of these bad boys. See? So you can get 2, so you can cosplay an Omen Killer in a single playthrough. If we recall, the blade of this huge, loathsome cleaver comprises a row of amputated omen horns, weapons of slaughter wielded by omen killers. The hideous horns cause blood loss, adding vibrant colors to the ongoing mayhem. We are missing the hat still. We haven't found the hat of the outfit just yet. In this back corner of this volcano manor town that has been decimated, it has been left desolate, we find an Erdtree seal. And this is the middle symbol. When you're casting Erdtree incantations specifically, or Golden Order incantations, if they're of the Crucible era, they are depicting mostly a tree with the rings on them, and they have a wild array of roots. This is the middle era of Erdtree casting, a progression of their faith, where it's a little more organized, right? This seems to be the era after the Crucible, but still the era likely attached to the Era of Plenty, probably the end of it. And then there is the other incantation seal, which is, yeah, so the Erdtree seal is that middle era, and then the final, or the third era of Erdtree worship is Golden Order. So let's see. A formless sacred seal decorated with an Erdtree crest, once the focus of religion in the lands between. Even though the Elden Ring is shattered and the Erdtree has dulled from its former radiance, earnest faith continues to hold the answers. So this is a pure faith catalyst. If you're going pure faith up to 80, this does very well, especially if you are not going for a specific flavor of incantation. Different incantation schools, of course, can be buffed by various catalysts and then perform a little better. If you're going for the all-rounder, pure faith, this is your pick. And then there's the Golden Order seal, which is depicting the ceremonial observation of order, enhances Golden Order fundamentalist incantation specifically. Fundamentalism is scholarship in all but name, scales incantations using both intelligence and faith. So we saw the third seal, or the first seal, of the Wild Erd Tree in the Chapel of Anticipation, specifically where we fought the Grafted Scion. It was there on the floor, right? It was a wild-looking seal with tree roots everywhere. This is the second seal, which is a little bit more orderly, a lot more focused on the Erd Tree as a faith. It probably happened after whatever bad stuff happened to the Erd Tree to make it an icon of faith, as described to us by... Is it the Blessed Dew Talisman? Yeah. So it was once thought that the blessed sap of the Erd Tree would drip from its boughs forever. That's the Age of the Crucible, or the Age of Plenty. But that Age of Plenty swiftly came to a close, and with time the Erd Tree became more of an object of faith, possibly when it was a stump but a golden visage to those who could see it. And then, when that was not sufficient, to save Erd Tree worship, fundamentalism comes along. Inspired by the union between Radigan and Renola, when they start using intelligence as a part of their repertoire. There we go. We have a blending of the understanding, intelligence, and faith. They are blended together. And then the focus shifts away from the symbol of the Erd Tree and more towards its core, the Elden Ring. Though I want to say Elden Rings every time because there's multiple rings. Alright, so that little diatribe is over. We can head into this side room. There is a dog here. Oh, it lived. There we go. And a body. We might have knocked him down from above, actually. There is a thing you can jump down to over here. I'm not going to bother. It's just a stone sword key. It's a painful jump, and it's not much of a reward. There is a little lower area I need to explore at some point. That day is not today. Well, maybe not even this episode. I want to, though, but I think we'll naturally run into it once we've gained the shortcuts, so we'll do that later. I only have so much time. In fact, we have very little time. I might just get to the next Grace and call it there. Just because I've had the last 2 episodes be rather long, unnecessarily. So we have serpent statues. Look at these suckers. They got wings. Spooky. Big old snake faces and mouths. And honestly, eagle feet. So maybe it's more like an eagle body with a snake head. Wonder what this is supposed to be symbolic of. Wings are kind of a sign of freedom. Serpent is kind of a sign of treachery, though. Freedom to be a heretic? Don't know. Wish I knew a little more about bird, hawk iconography and snake iconography in our own world. Maybe I could draw some neat illusion there. Maybe one will assault me later. Who knows? Yeah. I don't... Oh, God, that was a horrible mistake. But if we could stab its innards, we do well enough. During all that talking, I should have had the Dew Talisman on. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. There's a banner over there, depicting a tree. Now, it's not quite like the golden banners, and by the golden banners, I mean the ones that are, like, mostly gold, that we see around Lanedale wielded by their soldiers. In fact, if I were to put on... I guess it looks a little bit like this. So it's not this one in particular, right? But there are banners of the Erd Tree that we've seen around Lanedale, and they're gold, and they're broad, and they depict a much wider version of the tree. It looks broader. And we see red banners exactly like this in Stormvale, specifically in the parts of the Stormvale Castle that adhere a little more to the Saint and Tree era. Given their hatred of the Erd Tree in all of its forms, it seems unlikely that they would risk its icons existing without some sort of defacing. Now, they are in poor shape, right? I didn't need to finish the spin there. Ooh. There we go. Poor form on my case. Talking too much. Poor form on my part. So, it seems that they've just been worn with time, not necessarily defaced. And so it leads me to suspect that those of the heresies of Volcano Manor, adhering to the ancient cult of serpent worship that we are taught about briefly in the Serpent God's Curved Sword, this sucker, formerly used to offer up sacrifices. This sword restored HP upon slaying an enemy. Curved sword fashioned in the image of an ancient serpent deity and a tool of forgotten religion practiced on Mount Gelmir. It seems that they hate the Erd Tree so much they would have defaced everything they have of it. Heck, they have paintings in the main part of Volcano Manor of the Erd Tree burning. So it makes me wonder if this does not necessarily depict the Erd Tree, but is again another sign of the great tree that came before it. Not necessarily an enemy of the current blasphemous serpent cult. The recusants of Volcano Manor. Ooh. I think they have a bite attack where they actually lift you off the ground and poison you. So that is a thing to be wary of. Silly halberd. Get a smith and stone. Much more of these bodies heaped about. So many bodies. So there really was a grand culling here. There is a door here that we cannot open. We can either go to the left and get on the balcony, which has an item. Can I jump back? I can. Or we can go onto the roof. Yeah. So I think we're going to head down here. This is a little secret area. I'm trying not to get go too long. I'm trying to get to the Grace specifically. And we have yet another Omen Killer. This seems like the fun way to deal with him. I messed up. Turns out you mash the weapon art button if you do want to do the follow-up. It's always different. Wait, that's a third great... Oh, you can get 3 in a playthrough, huh? And we find the Albinauric staff and an Albinauric mask. How macabre. How grim. So, the Albinauric mask. Mask made from the largely unaltered hide of a young Albinauric. Gross, gross, gross. Raises arcane, but reduces the HP recovery effects of Flasks of Crimson Tears. If I remember, the recovery debuff is like 5 or 10%. It's not too much, but it's enough that you may not want to wear it unless you like the 4 extra points of arcane it gives you. A far cry from Godskin. This Albinauric hide mask is the product of malicious mockery. And sure enough, the Omen Killers are kind of obsessed with such mockery. They wear the horns of an omen on their face, to a degree, at least a depiction of it, and they graft omen horns into their weapons. And they seem to like to hunt things impure and apart from the Erd Tree, though it seems that a couple Omen Killers have possibly defected. Horrible sobbing noises. This ladder's a funny little thing to me, because I did a couple invasions a while back, and there was a guy who was camping at the top of this ladder, and as soon as you would get within sight of him, he would disconnect. But the disconnect would happen in such a way that it took a solid minute before it would actually boot you from his game, and you could not harm him during that time. Okay, so you want to be careful during this jump, right? Oh no! Says you should be careful during jump. Botches the jump. I was trying to get a running start and then do a 90-degree angle turn. Oh boy, getting there is going to be a chore. We're going to do it though. We're going to go fast. Oh, we are going to go fast. And we're going to go angry. Hello, serpent. Goodbye, serpent. We're just going to go for it. Just killing the trash. Now, does that, yeah, the abductor version does come back. Got hit once. Eat a rune arc. I still haven't opened the front door of this stupid place. Oh, I have to go to the secret area again. Guess we can see if the Omen Killer comes back. We don't have to fight him, but we can see if he's there. Oh, yeah, he's still there. So, I think he just drops it the first time you kill him. But normally I like to come up here, grab that one item. It's just some money. It's not that worth it, but it is an exit. And it seems to be the chronological exit. There was a window down there where we got the Elden mask that you can hop out of and end up in a different place of the lower area, but... Okay, we're just gonna standing jump it. Yeah, that's more than enough. Silly me. Alright, so getting back in here, we have Albinaurix hanging from the ceiling for some reason. In fact, if I want to do a little more damage, save on mana. As he hurts us and takes away our buff. Funny. Okay. Now we can open this front door, which we probably won't need, but heck, if we died in the next room, it would be nice to be able to run through here and not go through the other area. You can also just jump off to the left and go through the balcony area. You don't have to go to the secret area first. Okay. I want something that hits downward. That sounds like a good idea to me. There we go. So we have Albinaurix that are wearing a weird thing on their head. But as long as we know what we're looking for, they don't have a chance to overwhelm us. Golden Rune. Did I grab one of their hats way back when? I did. Okay, Black Dumpling. Maybe we've seen enemies with this before. Mask forced on a victim's head to lend torture an extra degree of cruelty. It magnifies one's fears and makes them acutely aware of all forms of pain. Raises attack power when the wearer suffers from madness. When the Black Dumpling goes on, the torturer no longer seeks answers, only to inflict suffering without hope of relief. So, there is... Do we have it? We may not have it. Oh yeah, Howl of Shibiri. So people like to use this, because this also gives you an attack buff while wearing the Black Dumpling. And so if you use it enough that you give yourself madness, you get double buffed. Is it worth it? There's probably better ways of getting buffed. But it is there. Okay. So we have this little outside area. And this will be specifically what we'll be exploring next time. So the sunken town of Volcano Manor. And eventually, hopefully it'll lead us up there. So that is what we'll explore next time. I think I have this fellow to slay. Not too bad. Oh, I missed the pickaxes. These things are great. Out here, you can get the explosive great bolt. That window right there, that's above me, that's the one I was talking about where you get the Albinauric mask. You can jump out that window, I believe, and end out here. Get your explosive bolts and end up close to the next grace. I think that's it for today. Yeah. And here we have a site of grace as our midpoint in this area. Okay. So thank you for joining me for episode... Oh, is this 93? I think it's 93. Thank you for joining me. Next time is episode 94. I hope you have a good one. And next time, I believe we'll have much more tasty lore tidbits to go over. Thank you, and bye-bye.